backup deck today is another Phoenix deck, but it's a different Phoenix. uh, Detectives Phoenix. So we've been playing Detectives Phoenix and Hollow One. That deck has been very good. This is... It's not exactly 8 Blast with no Shrapnel Blast. I ended up cutting the Shrapnel Blast from the deck. But this is Inti Asmo with no Urza Saga, because Saga sucks at the moment. And also, as much as I am a Ragavan hater, Ragavan is really, really good with a Detectives Phoenix on it. Ragavan is really, really good with a Detectives Phoenix on it. So this is very low to the ground, mono red aggro, with Inti Asmo as your card advantage engine, with DRC Bauble to dig for Detectives Phoenix, to really race with this card, control Boros with Asmo, jump Ragavan here, and then hopefully be able to burn your Jeskai opponents out. I've got a bunch of Soul Guide Lanterns on the board for Flage. I also was like kind of stuck on Den of the Bugbear versus Arena of Glory, and I might just have this wrong, not playing any Arena of Glory, but it's like we have Detectives Phoenix to give stuff haste, and Den of the Bugbear is really good against Jeskai, and I'm just kind of scared of the Jeskai matchup, so that's why we're here. Is it hard to collect Evidence 6? Well, we have Street Wraiths, we have DRC Bauble, we have Inti, so it hasn't been too tough so far, but it's not as easy. It's not as easy as the Hollow One deck, of course. Did you get that on? We have Street Wraith. No Street. Are there not Street Wraiths in the deck? Going crazy. Yeah, there are 4 guys. I think the Street Wraiths might have been off screen or something. Yeah, and the hand. So yeah, it also helps. So it's nice that the Street Wraiths collect evidence. Let you cast Asmo and trigger Inti. So let me get this Mox Field updated too. Could one Mox Amber be worth it? Could be. No, we're not a Saga deck. My opponent's playing 80 cards, I just noticed. You know what? Like, Mox Amber is kind of awkward in a deck like this that doesn't have any like very, very low mana curve. Okay, so we're gonna play the Inti this turn, and then it's like a little bit weird if my opponent kills the Inti on their turn. If they kill it on right now, it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna not cycle the Street Wraith. But I think we would probably want to cycle the Street Wraith to get the 2-for-1 off Inti rather than save it to enable the Asmo, but it's kind of close. 80 cards, by the way, surveilling a Lush Portico. What are they doing? 80 card Nadu, maybe. I love that how people learned how to build decks with exactly 80 cards because of Yorion, and then people they just play only exactly 80. Yeah, so we're just gonna take our 2-for-1 with the Wraith. Hopefully. Yeah, something like this might happen, although we get rewarded. So cycle the Wraith. Should we dash Ragavan? I think I'm just going to cast a Channeler. Are they 4-color Omnath stuff? I mean, probably. Hard to say exactly. Keep a card on top. Graveyard a Channeler, I think. Graveyard this land. We're mostly looking for more bird. We're looking for Detectives Phoenix also. Got our opponent down to 3 life with our 1 mana 3/3s in red. People still play this card. So trying to find burn spells or phoenixes. There's a phoenix. Which you might want to save next turn to put onto an Asmo or a Ragavan, but we might as well just surveil 2 more times right now. Yeah, but I think I'm going to save the Phoenix for next turn. With the intention to bolt my opponent on their turn to get maybe find a second Phoenix. A second Phoenix would be nice. If my opponent plays Omnath, we can discard Ragavan Asmo, I guess. Yeah, I just need another burn spell so badly. I think I'm just digging for one. So my opponent's at 6. We have the ability to hit them for this turn off the Ragavan, and then they die to the ring. So if they don't have another removal spell, we win. How about Bone Crusher and sideboard against ring? I don't know. I think it's kind of high on the curve, honestly. Which sounds a little funny to say, I suppose. We have a lot of burn already. Come on, Ragavan. You've never let me down before. Damn. Dabaron, 13 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, as soon as we register Asmo against Wrath Disguise, of course. Is what it is. So they bounce their ring. 10 cards in their hand. Maybe Galvanic Blast could be Wild Splash. I don't know. I think Galvanic Blast deals 4 damage enough at the time. You probably just want to play it. But maybe. Save this so if I draw Cookbook, I could discard it. Asmo, Haste the Phoenix. Pope with 5 months. Thank you so much. I tried Vile, Norin, Satoru humans with Guide of Soul, Static Prison. I have not circled back to Vile, Norin, Satoru since MH3, but hopefully soon, huh? Alright, not looking too good. The Phoenix in the yard, we have a lot of lethal top decks, including this one. My opponent still has 6 cards in their hand, but with only an archive up, they have to have Binding or a counterspell, I guess. Solitude. Okay, there are a lot of cards. But let's go through the motions anyways. Yeah, Wrath is pretty good against our deck. You know, we have a bunch of burn. We have Detective's Phoenix. We have Din of the Bugbear. Want to see a list of Buckshot together. You got to pitch better. What's the deck? What's the idea? We need better pitch meetings here. All right. Let's go to game 2. Oh, sorry. It was the Vile Sword. Yeah, I'll take a look. I see. All right. We're running it back. Plan is to just try to burn him out of the game. Yeah, proof of concept. Def 1 almost got him. It's a lot of hoops to jump through for Static Prison. The problem too with these kind of decks is you're just not good against Boros, probably. That would be my impression. If somehow you are good against Boros and Mardu, then it'd be a lot better. But I think you just get run over in those matchups. And then you are also like worse at like racing the combo decks, so you're not really doing anything better. Yeah, it did made 6 minutes ago. Yeah, a lot of hoops to jump through for Static Prisons too. I think Yogg will be good again if Nadu's gone. Do I have a preference on Yogg construction, Rumble, Cauldron, Ritual, Nightmare? Constructing Yogg is so tough. I don't. I just haven't been working on it, so I can't really tell you the direction to go. I do think Yogg was probably going to return to the metagame post Nadu ban, and maybe we can spend some time on it. I think Rumble is probably too good to not play, and then Rumble has a lot of synergy with like Nightmare and Cauldron specifically, a little bit more than it has with Birthing Ritual. There's also something to be said for like the first Cauldron you draw is really, really good, so you probably want to play one. And the first Birthing Ritual you draw is really, really good. And the first Nightmare you draw is really, really good. And so you could maybe just play exactly one of each and then also play Court of Calling, or you could maybe play two of each or something like that if there's room. There's also conversations, I think, for Phyrexian Tower, some number of Flare of Cultivation. It's like they're a Marionette Apprentice, I think, is in there too. It's a tough deck to build. Is Nadu the reason why no one's playing Titan? I guess to some extent, like there was a lot of damping spheres for Storm, which has kind of died down. I know that the Titan players kind of all say that their deck is unplayable at the moment. Although I think Kanich has been playing it more lately. Maybe it's been getting better. Birthing Ritual is good to draw multiples. I mean, it can be good to draw multiples, but so I've definitely had plenty of games where I just draw two Birthing Rituals and my opponent kills my only creature and I do nothing. But yeah, they can be good at multiples. So maybe it would be like two Birthing Rituals, one Cauldron, one Nightmare. Canister been on the other Titan. I played Titan for fun the other day. Yeah, I'm sure it's like fine. Again, I haven't seen the deck in a while, of course. Okay, opponent's on a mold of 6. Happy to see the Den of the Bugbear here. Yeah, Scalding Tarn revealed. Probably not going to keep whatever we see there. Yep, 60 months, no retros. Yeah, I guess not today, huh? Okay, Galvanic Discharge the Asmo. I'm going to play out both cookbooks so that an Inti could be a kind of crazy top deck. Oh, also, the cookbooks being able to discard Phoenix sometime is really nice. Tanks on the Temple Garden decides to play it tapped. I've drawn the third Galvanic Blast, so I now have 11 points of burn in my hand against an opponent who's at 17. Although, of course, the problem here is that I kind of need this Shinka to activate Den of the Bugbear, so I don't really want to go too ham yet. I also would like my opponent to go maybe painfully fetch and shock some. This could also give me Metalcraft. So they have 15, effectively 14. Gonna be close. Don't think I bless yet. I kind of want to give them the I want them to just play the ring and tap it. But if they play the ring, would I double Galvanic Blast them in response? That's good for mana efficiency, but it's kind of worse if I just want them to tap the ring at all, because then they would be oh sorry, they wouldn't just be dead. Remember the black-red deck with Ragavan DRC? Yeah, the black-red Lurrus deck was so sweet. You played so much of it. Kind of a different era where you just play a lot of the same deck. I guess it was like the trophy, part of the trophy race era. Blast looking a little bit better than Bone Crusher. Notably, my opponent can't cast Omnath next turn. Or they can't cast Omnath and make a landfall. Might also be right just to Cookbook back a Street Wraith here, but it seems okay. Speaking of trophy race, still organizing the charity trophy race. I don't know. I've been focused on a lot of other stuff personally. I've been working out almost every single day. I've been working on writing a novel. Been playing a lot of D&D. Me and some friends are working on designing a game system. So I guess I forgot about the trophy sprint for charity. I wanted to do it last December, and MH3 has been a busy time too. But yes, I would like to get around to it. So I think we should Din instead of Ragavan. Although should I do neither because of Solitude? Well, maybe this gets the job done. That's true. They can't Binding the Den. Favorite Flare of Cultivation deck? I still like the Flare of Cultivation into Karn, into Ring deck that we played for a while. I do actually have an update to that one that we may get to tomorrow. Alright, will they die to the ring? Fingers crossed. I mean, if they have the Solitude, they're on Solitude. It's not so bad either. Also, now that they... Sorry. I was thinking for some reason they would still die, but they go to 1. Okay, we're going to game 3. What if they're supposed to Solitude their Solitude? Well, they should do it instead of losing the game, if that's an option to them. But not always an option to them. Yeah, I mean, like, so usually I'd bring a Needle against Ring decks, against Renin 6-2, but it's just so awkward against Wrath of Skies to bring in the Needle. Really hoping that we can draw a couple Detectives Phoenixes and have them shine this game. They're only always like Solitude, Ephemerate, Solitude. Yeah, I mean, they could just Solitude into Omnath. Basically, always involves Solitude. On the draw. Couldn't they have let you attack and block the 1/1? Yeah, they could have, which is why I think dashing Ragavan might have been better. Or just not attacking. Alright, gonna keep this. Put it on a mulligan to 6 on the play. Yeah, it's just a Miser's Needle. There's just some matchups I'll bring in the first copy in. Yeah, just in the sideboard. Should I just play Cookbook against the Galvanic Discharge? I think I'll just trade. They might old Asmo Blast up Saga. Yeah, but Saga's just so bad right now. It's just like... it's not unplayable, but it's not exactly like... It is not a card I'm excited to put into my modern deck. They got a Hedge Maze, which is good for me instead of Breeding Pool because they're less likely to Renin 6 my Ragavan. Could have played DRC turn 1 if I was really scared of Renin 6. They keep a card on top, so this is hopefully just a card that they're okay with me exiling to Ragavan. Yeah, Nadu is now the only Saga deck. Alright, graveyard that. So I'm going to play Inti, and then I'm going to, I believe, attack, discarding the Channeler. Not going to discard anything to Cookbook right now. So I see discarding the Channeler, discarding the Mountain to put a counter on Channeler. Revealing a Wooded Foothills. You know, they're playing 80 cards in the deck. I'm going to not be doing very good against a Wrath of Skies this game anyways. It seems okay to just hope they don't have one. Then we get to meme 80 cards, by the way. If they do. Seems they don't, which is big news. I'm going to go ahead and discard my cookbook to cookbook. Get another type in the yard, trigger the Inti. Get closer to Galvanic Blast. So we can just cast that. We don't quite have 6 evidence to collect. Maybe we could find a Street Wraith. So I should discard regular mountain instead. And I might still surveil into enough evidence to collect, although I guess I'm really unlikely to want to collect all that evidence with the channeler here. I'm actually going to keep this Arid Mesa on top so that I could activate Din as a follow-up to a sweeper here. Gonna not discard the Inti here. Okay. I'll take the concession. Cool. I guess their hand sucks. Triple Asmo. I'm gonna mulligan. Psychic Frog plus Hollow One win. Well, I think it seems pretty tough to be playing that card in a mostly red deck. The card is very good though, so don't count it out yet. So normally when you say you don't want to play Asmo Cookbook when Wrath of Skies like this, has that changed? Or you're just jamming a cool deck for fun? So I think the idea here is that playing no sagas, playing Phoenix, playing Din of the Bugbear, playing 8 1-mana burn spells. All of these things make me feel better about Wrath of Skies. No Saga, 8 1-mana burn spells, Detector's Phoenix, Din of the Bugbear. All of these things have been kind of crafted with the intention that we're going to hopefully be more resilient to Wrath of Skies. No Name Bob, great username. Thank you for the resub. So my opponent says big fan, which will be apparent shortly, which probably means they're also playing Woodlands combo. Really cool. Top 8 the mocks, play against Woodlands combo twice on Monday. Then people on Reddit say everyone's been playing Nethergoy for the challenge list. Wasn't your list? Yeah, it was the main deck was the same, minus the theater, and then they changed the sideboard. I do think my sideboard needed changing though. But yeah, that is the cycle. How many percent of the meta play Wrath? Max 5. I think it's probably a little bit. I think Jeskai is a little bit more than 5%. I told y'all Woodlands Omniscience would be playable. It really did need cash grab though. The cash grab was just so important to giving the deck enough playables. Alright, let's not upkeep surveil, let's just take our draw. Okay. Rewarded. I'm gonna bolt them and I'm probably gonna cookbook Asmo the spawn. We are looking for another type for Delirium. That would be pretty critical. This is not another type for Delirium, but I'll keep it on top. In fact, maybe I'm supposed to. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to save Metalcraft for next turn. They might chump block. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm supposed to kill this because just Delirium. If I just get Delirium off that, they're dead. Okay, so punished. There's also, like, Wrath this guy also sees playing Gorios, also sees playing, like, 4-color Omnath, so it's not just Jeskai. So they choose Karn off of their cash grab here. Plays a Sprawl. Chooses green. Dude, your mom lets you draw 2 Rumbles? I never get to draw 2 Rumbles. But yeah, a big part about me returning to Asmo here is that The Detective's Phoenix is just, it just kind of is a card that makes you so much better against the Wrath of the Skies decks. I'm optimistic about this build. And we did beat a Wrath of the Skies deck round 1. But we did lose the game. They drew Wrath of the Skies. But it looks like we're going to beat Woodlands round 1 here with a turn 4 kill. And so would it be better I guess if I escape the Phoenix or bestow the Phoenix, I lose my Delirium. Doesn't really matter, I guess. That either way. I'm going to bring in these 5 cards for sure. I'm going to cut my Ovalchase Daredevils. And then a lot of people were bringing Harsh Mentor in against me as Woodlands, but I didn't really care much about this. I mean, it like triggered off fetch lands, it triggered off the Woodland activation, but it just didn't seem that good. It just didn't seem that good. I think I'm going to trim Cookbook number 4 and then trim 1 Bolt, 1 Blast. I'm not really sure which is better. I guess I'm going to trim the Blast because Bolt can kill Karn without Metalcraft. That might be it. Alright, I got 2 Soul Guide Lanterns, but I don't have a discard thing for Asmo. I got a Surveil land. I'm going to click the Keep button. Also Karn and Ring. Harsh Mentor doesn't trigger Planeswalker's activated abilities, which, like, why doesn't it? You know what I mean? Doesn't really make any sense. Do you trim an Asmo with no Ovalchase? No, I mean, we just have 4 Street Wraith. Asmo's still like a 1-mana 3/3 a lot of the time. I just kind of care about having cheap creatures to pressure our opponent. Yeah, I know Dingo is playing Rumble and Night Energy. Looked pretty good, I agree. Okay, we don't need a 3rd lantern. Draw's a bit awkward here. Yeah, I don't really know why Harsh Mentor doesn't stop. Doesn't stop playing or trigger off Planeswalker's abilities. It's got a Traverse and a Misty, 5 cards in their hand. The good thing about Woodlands, you just have like 2 Graveyard Hate cards, and you just go turn 2 Fable, turn 3 Ring, and you're like, oh, uh-oh. Maybe I should have mulliganed into a hand that was a bit more proactive. Let's go to game 3. All right, game 3. Harsh Mentor came out in a set without Planeswalkers. It came out in Amonkhet, right? Which I think had Planeswalkers. Right, I'm just going to surveil here. If you have a 3-colored non-zoo deck that doesn't have any turn 1 plays, are the Triumphs still worse than the Surveil lands? I mean, I don't know what your deck is. Do you have Leyline Binding in your deck? You need to play Triumphs. If you don't have Leyline Binding in your deck, you don't need to play Triumphs. That's my general rule of thumb at the moment. Dude, Sprawl so broken. I think I'm gonna wait a turn on the Wraith. Could draw Inti or Asmo, and I would like to play the Ragavan this turn. Hoping for no Spyro here. Will they activate the Might? They will, so just go ahead and pop it. Not so bad for us, especially with the Needle in our hand here. Did draw the Asmo. So let me see what they're drawing. If we like see a ring on top, we'll want to needle the one ring. But I think for the most part, we would prefer to try to save needle for woodlands. And if they draw one card off the ring, it wouldn't be such a big deal, especially because them taking a damage to it every turn is not so bad for us. I've seen it, but I got top forward RC with Oops All Bugs that wins with Recross the Paths. Someone submitted or showed us that deck today. Yeah, it looks cool. I've seen Recross the Paths plus Grist before, and it is undeniably very cool. It's also always like feels a little nonsensical to me to some extent because it's like Recross the Paths is a card that you can win the game with a lot more easily than like trying to set up for a crazy Grist, but it is very cool. Undeniably very cool. Okay, I named the One Ring. They have a Woodlands and 3 other cards in their hand, drawing a 4th card for turn. See if I double bolt them down to 9, and then I can attack for 4. I can attack for 9 exactly next turn. Unless they Karn, then that turns off my treasure token. Okay. Haywire Might, super good in that deck. But do I still have lethal? Double bolt them down to it. Yeah, they're dead to the ring trigger if they don't have third Haywire Might. They should only have 3 mites in at the moment. Didn't the Bugbear better than Urza Saga all along? I was just thinking about drawing Detective's Phoenix, but Detective's Phoenix is 2 extra damage, Din is 4 extra damage, we need 4 damage. Not rocket science. So my opponent's going to need to find a Seed of Hope here to survive. Yeah, I guess they could also Woodland Haywire Might and then Might their own ring and go to 1, but then that's their whole turn and they're pretty dead. Okay, 2-0 on the mulligan. Keeping 6. Wizards. At least one wizard, huh? Hand does not seem great against them, especially being on the draw. If I knew my Inti was likely to live, I'd keep the Ovalchase, but it seems my Inti is very unlikely to live, so let's just bolt the Tamiyo. The Moxfield link isn't updated. Okay, just the extension. Kind of weird. I think here I'm just going to cast Ragavan and Surveil. Looks like it worked out. Graveyard's a Subtlety. 3 mana up. It's Graveyard Galvanic Blast here. It's kind of the best top deck. Let's play Inti first, and then maybe we have something to do with the Inti, or we hit something off the Inti that's better than the Asmo, or maybe just a land. It's kind of free rolling here. Scared of Flame of Venor now, of course. Too bad. Cannot cycle that. Also kind of bad to draw Cookbook here, gonna be honest. Is what it is. Here's the flame. I think if I draw a dud here, we might just go to a fast game 3. Especially if they have Tommy, but they have Preordain. One on top, one on the bottom. Not a dud. Not a dud. It's a bit weird. I would like really prefer to like bestow at this turn, this game though. But I think just casting it, kind of making my opponent deal with it, then maybe I can bestow it onto a later creature is going to be fine. Yeah, it's our first league with this deck. Force negation, okay. Pitching Preordain, that works out pretty well for me with me having a second cookbook in hand. They've got 2 cards. Maybe the Preordain was the card they kept on top with Preordain. You want to kill this? Love for them to bolt this right now. No bait taken. Din of the Bugbear is kind of fine here. I could keep this on top the next turn, sack Cookbook, play Din, and then I have the option of like activating Din versus playing a threat. I'll keep it. I revisited Basim since Tasker iteration. A couple of times. I mean, we had that Grixis build with Basim that I thought was looking brutal. I thought that build was looking pretty promising. A third flame. Okay, let's go to game 2 against the third flame. That being said, Phoenix is really, really good against Izzet. We've played against it, or had it against them a few times. I don't think I'm really going to be sideboarding. We could bring in Needle that could hit her / flip side of Tomio, which is like kind of narrow. Let's just run it back. Been playing the Grixis build out of Tasker. It's awesome. Yeah, I think that at least the first Tasker is good in that build. But I'm also like a little besimmed out. I think we kind of explored all the angles. I think the ring build is good. I think the Grixis build is second best, and I probably won't be spending a lot of time with the archetype for a while. Do you think of one of Ox is good in place of a Ragavan? I don't think I'd cut a Ragavan. You probably just cut the second Daredevil for that. Could be good. Could be okay. Yeah, it's our first league with this deck. We were 7-3 with Phoenix. Now we're 2-0 with this one. Okay, getting Asmo out of bolt range is nice here. But like Ragavan's just really good with Phoenix. I'm not that interested in trying to cut it. Any plans for more Mockingbird decks? I mean, I'm open to play more Mockingbird. I think it's like Mockingbird's very good with the energy cards, and I feel pretty good about our Jeskai list at the moment. I think the Jeskai build is very good, and I probably want to wait on those decks a little bit more until like post Nadu settles down next week. We'll see. Yeah, Din is really, really good creature land. Dead Inti. Seems like I should just Cookbook this turn. Kill the Tomio. And then having 2 Cookbooks in play with another Inti in your hand is pretty good too. Huh. Interesting that they force of negationed the first Cookbook last game, and now they waited on this one. Me when they drop the no changes next week. I don't know what we're gonna do. I really don't think it'll happen though. But you never know. Wizards does a lot of stuff you kind of would never expect. Tapped Sulphurous Springs. Assuming Nadu's banned on 26, if I want to play a Spike Brew for Modern, I recommend getting reps in with Teamer Prayers, Bant Prayers. I think Bant is better than Teamer. The Loam deck or Gruul Omni. I mean, Gruul Omni was the best one, has been the best one by a lot. I would recommend that one. And I think that one also, like we were 11-4 in leagues, and then we were 13-4 in challenges, and 3 of our 4 losses were to Nadu. And so post Nadu ban, the deck is definitely looking pretty juicy. Fly, my pet. Get our opponent down to 3 with a bolt in our hand. If the ban happens, what am I pulling into your sideboards that I've been missing for Nadu spots? It's kind of a complicated question. It's also like a little bit weird because like in leagues for the most part I under respect Nadu, and in challenges I over respect it. So it's just kind of a complicated question. But sideboards do open up. I think one big thing is like the Boros, Jeskai, Mardu energy decks can cut all these stupid Harshman Torch from their sideboard, and so like their sideboard specifically open up a ton. I'm not sure if it's like significantly different for other archetypes, but that seems to be the big thing, is that Boros' sideboard expands. Okay, game 3 on the draw. Are there any unbans that justify keeping Nadu for a while? There are no unbans, no reasoning to keep Nadu for a little while. It has long overstayed its welcome, in my opinion. That being said, there's like 5 or 6 cards I'd be in favor of an unban for. That would, I think all of them would be unimpactful, fun, fringe cards. Bridge from Below, Umazawa's Jitte. I think Birthing Pod would be fringe and not that played. I think Splinter Twin would be fringe and not that played. I think Punishing Fire would be fringe and not that played. And then Hypergenesis also. Why not Saga in this deck? Saga's really bad at the moment. Saga, like, the idea is that, like, Asmo is pretty interesting in this shell, right? Where you want to play Street Wraith for Detective's Phoenix Fuel, you want to play Inti for Detective's Phoenix, and so Street Wraith is also very good with Asmo. So you want to play Asmo for that reason. Cookbook is also good with Inti, but you want to be as resilient to Wrath the Skies as possible. And so I've been just not playing any Asmo because of this. But in this deck that plays a lot of Burn, that plays Detective's Phoenix, that plays Den of the Bugbear, I think you're like resilient enough to Wrath the Skies that you can build the deck this way. And we also did beat Wrath the Skies deck round 1. But Saga is just not, it's just not very good. Like the plan of make 2 construct is tough. It's also always been a little bit weird in this deck that your deck plays, like in this deck we have 28 red 1-mana spells, and playing colorless lands in these decks can be tough. So yeah, just happy enough to be off Saga. DRS is Deathrite Shaman. Blazing Shoal, Deathrite Shaman, Violent Outburst. I would not want to unban any of those. Based on this deck's performance, it seems like Shadow Phoenix would also be really good. Yeah, we could try it. I started working on a draft. I couldn't find it today. I haven't played any matches. It's like I don't remember what I called it. But the deck kind of built itself. It's like 18 lands, DRC Bauble, Phoenix, Street Wraith, Inti, Shadow, Thoughtseize, Lightning Bolt, Nethergoyf, and then like there's just that's like kind of the deck with the decision point, I think, of playing Bowmaster or Ragavan. I think that one's kind of a close decision point. Okay, I don't care for a discharge here. Street Wraith is what's helping you escape your Phoenixes. And then also just like filling your yard with DRC in theory. It's kind of the same thing to this formula. Rough Tumble instead of Pyroclasm as it dodges your Phoenixes, as well as 6 mana value for Collect Evidence. I mean, I don't have Pyroclasm in this deck, but if I did, sure. Do I have Pyroclasm? Yeah, like you could play Rough Tumble. Wait, sorry. Hold on. No, I am playing Pyroclasm. right? Right, and the plan is to board out the Ragavans, right? I think killing your own Phoenixes doesn't matter much because you're usually bestowing it. The plan is to board out the Ragavans, bring in the Pyroclasms. I can't remember when I got back in on that plan, but we are. So I could hold Sokenzan for the Inti channel, or I could save the Arid Mesa for Surveil. I think Surveil seems a bit more likely. I got a little confused too, because like we were also playing a Phoenix deck with Pyroclasm last league, but that was Arc-like Phoenix. But in that deck, your Arc-like Phoenixes just come back to life. Bring me to life. Snapcaster targeting Forked Bolt. Pretty happy with this trade. Oh, what? Okay. So they have a Flame of Anor? Mo says I messed up. I see. Sorry about that. My bedside mana needs a little bit more work, I think. Okay, so I think I'm going to look at my top card here. I really want to hit like a relevant spell off the Inti. Although I guess I have the Preordain too. Okay, let's actually cast the Preordain first. I think that makes I'm like locked in on casting this. That one's kind of close. All right, so let's look at a top card. A Galvanic Blast. So I like seeing that because I want to kill the Snapcaster Mage to turn off the Flame of Anor. What happened to Feli being so good at the beginning of a Mage 3 and no longer being played now? I mean, the short answer was that it was a little bit overrated. Feli is a really strong card too, but like a lot of the cards that you want to play with Felia, like Wall of Omens, like things to flicker for value, are not cards that you really want to play at the moment. But you can play Felia. Felia is still a strong card. There are a lot of strong cards in the Mage 3 that haven't been seeing a lot of play. I think Detective's Phoenix is a big example of that too. So we're going to play a 5/5 Murktide. Do you have some MDC example, Felder Profane and Phoenix Shadow? I didn't get that far. I didn't build the mana base yet, but I think the MDFCs could go a long way. Seems like you'd be a little bit harder at escaping the shadows in that build compared to this one. I mean, all the matches have been pretty close so far, but it looks like we've got a pretty good chance to be on a 3-0 start here. What happened to Unstable Amulet? Well, the big thing is that it's like really important for... It's very important for Boros to be a deck that is... Okay, so we'll keep this on top. It's very important for Boros to be a deck that is faster than everything else. You gotta go fast when you're playing Boros. So I could bolt the Murktide to get a treasure token and a Ragavan trigger here. Or I could just Asmo this. I think I'll bolt the Murktide. You just have to be so fast as Boros that you kind of don't have time to play Unstable Amulet in the metagame. That could change. Draven, the 41 months. Appreciate you, homie. Welcome back. So we don't find a... I guess I'm always shuffling here, so I mean, like, bobbling first doesn't matter because I'm always going to cast the Asmo and get another cookbook no matter what I see. Okay, so we lost our Phoenix trophy prediction. Let's get a... let's see if the other Phoenix can trophy again. Will I play the MKM Phoenix next? Well, I don't have an updated build of the deck. I'm on your Eldrazi Breaker deck with Stonebrain over Needle in the sideboard. Cool. So I'm hold to 5. Oh, just to complete the Phoenix Gauntlet. I mean, I have been thinking about that combo some. Could be something to circle back to. They see the new Cow Dying Life spoilers of Modern Playable. I have not seen any new spoilers today. All right, good draw. So we're going to save the Bauble for next turn with DRC, potentially hoping to surveil anything with mana value into the yard to go DRC plus Detective's Phoenix next turn. I can also discard the Phoenix to get Delirium. Let's see what the top card of their library is. I think that's one that makes me want to do this. I think I'm probably always doing this anyways, to be honest. Oh, and you know what? I guess I should... Oh no, they're more likely to get rid of the Asmo because it has 0 mana value. And killing this gets the Phoenix back. I'm glad they didn't have a Kozilek's Command already in their hand. That's a big deal. Really hoping that they kill Asmo instead of DRC. Could also have a ring. Yeah, what's the spoiler though? I'd like to take a look if anyone wants to link it. Oh man. Okay, so they probably did this at the wrong time because this means they're getting hit by the Phoenix though. They put 2 on the bottom with the Scries. Don't have a lot of mana value at the moment. I think I'll discard an Asmo, play another Cookbook. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm still probably discarding Asmo for Metalcraft this game anyways, but I don't know why I was thinking I would do this and I just have a Cookbook in my hand. It's old. Oh, wait, is it's just actual 9 lives is the card? Just like the reprint? The imprint and all is dust. 6 mana, doesn't cast that much. Maybe there's another Kozilek's Command there. Doesn't seem like I'm playing around a lot by like really trying to Galvanic Blast them right now. It's pretty tough for them to have Breaker online next turn, and I think if they just cast Breaker, we win anyways. 9 lives familiar, it's old. Okay, I don't think I've seen this card. Enters with 8 revival counters if you cast it. When it dies, if it had a revival counter on it, returns to the battlefield with 1 fewer revival counters at the beginning of next end step. Okay, so they exile a Phoenix. They make 4 1/1 spawns, so they can Breaker next turn. Pretty effectively, too. Does Asmo kill Breaker? I can't target it with the Asmo, I guess. Okay, interesting that they're tapping the Labyrinths before getting Tron. That means they have something else in their hand. Okay, Karn with 8 mana available. Sorry, I should have discarded my Asmo here. Yeah, I should have discarded the Asmo, and then I had either burn spells and out. Alright. Dead anyways, let's go bring in some Charmaws, huh? Those might be good at this matchup. Alright, Charmaw's in. I wonder, could I just bring in Charmaws and Harsh Mentor? Harsh Mentor hits Ring and Map. I guess that's kind of low. Also, of course, my Intis are worse without these. Alright, so let's got the Ovalchases instead. Go down on the burn spells. The fact that it comes back on instep, not right away, makes it pretty immune to comboing. Yeah, and like these kind of like 3 mana Bloodghast style creatures just are way too slow. It's a cool card though. Was it already modern legal? If it was, I completely forgot about it. Alright, let's mulligan this. Not a great 6, but we can work with this. Kind of hilarious with the Ozolith, that is true. Graveyard that. Hopefully, Inti can maybe find us some lands, and we're kind of trying to dig for Charmaws, I think. And they called it a mine. Alright, cycle this first. There's a channeler. Okay, I think I'm down to maybe just like dig for a land with this real quick. Yeah, I don't want to cast that right now. Okay, I'm pretty locked in on discarding this Detective's Phoenix no matter what's the top card of my library is, so I don't think I should, like, crack my Bauble right now. Ugh. So close, yet so far. I wonder if I would have just not done anything else this turn. How'd I know that was my top card? Not sure. I'm missing out on like 4 power. It's a pretty tough sell to just not attack with the Inti there. I guess I could attack and just not discard it. But I don't get the counter, I don't get the Asmo. I guess I could go Asmo, no search. Yeah. Maybe we'll just find one this turn, huh? Okay, so let's put a counter on our flyer. Let's discard redundant Inti. Charmaw, I accept. I accept you now. Okay, no Charmaw. I guess I could still find one off the cookbook discard. Be kind of interesting. I guess I would just always target Eldrazi Temple here. But it would be a conversation. Okay, get some value with that graveyarding. Let's go. Yeah, let's kill the temple. I do think it's kind of interesting to maybe go after a Tron piece. Is Inti plus Layla deck too cute for Modern? Layla is not a Modern playable card. Even with Detective's Phoenix, even with Inti in your deck, she is so bad, in my opinion, in my experience. She is a fine cube card, because cube is a format where not everyone always has a 1 mana instant speed removal spell in their hand. I think the card is far from bad, just not strong enough for Modern. Well, I mean, there's a difference with, I mean, almost playable and almost playable and not good enough for Modern, or and like not they're both unplayable, no matter how you slice it. Like even if it's close, it's still not good enough. So my opponent is at 16 life, huh? It's a big attack. I think I'm going to put a counter on the Charmaw because they can't Kozilek's command this one. So yeah, my big problem with playing Mox Amber in this deck is that we just have like nothing to ramp into besides like Din of the Bugbear activations. So I don't think I'd want it, but you could maybe have an explosive early turn. Might be fine. Alright, so let's just bolt now, looking for another bolt for next turn. Bolting now gives me an extra surveil. And we got to use both surveils. I agree about Layla, but more interesting Heroic Castle Turn 2. I promise you, if you just stop trying to put Layla in your deck, you're going to have a better time. I wish it wasn't the case. I agree that the card is so cool. Oh, they have Dismember for the Charmaw. Wow. Alright, they're at 5 life. Under a lot of pressure. Can definitely stabilize from here a lot of the time. Oh, there's a tower. So I've got some phoenixes in my yard. So a creature is a lethal top deck. A lightning bolt is a lethal top deck. I guess not. I guess a phoenix is also lethal. All right. Well, I don't know if you can beat this. How do you don't ring? Well, they're at 3 life and the ring has 2 counters, so they would get a full untap there. Okay, game 3. Matches have all been really close. Would love to play for the trophy here. I mean, I'm not going to click. The mulligan button is there. I'm not going to click it. Let's click this one. My opponent has mulled to 6, mulled to 5. Yeah, usually not the biggest fan of Ragavan, but card's a lot better with Detective's Phoenix. Phoenix is really, really, really good card. I've been thinking about wanting to play it in like Domain Zoo and like with the ability to loot it away with Kavu, but you're like a little light on looters. I also would love to play a Malevolent Rumble Phoenix deck, but I haven't exactly figured out what that would look like. Okay, so they mold to 5, they devour in the upkeep here. They call it a mine. Okay, I do want to see what card they kept on top. Okay. Makes sense. Let's keep this channeler. I want to bestow Phoenix on Devourer of Creation with Malevolent Rumbles. So those sound pretty nice. Just like Phoenix and Green Red Eldrazi. I'm pretty sure there was actually people who had suggested that inclusion. Yeah, that one's pretty good against us. Save me, Charmaws. Sacks the Mind Stone. Plays a mine, 2 cards in hand. Don't like how long they're thinking there. Kind of seems like they might have a Kozilek's Command. Alright, cost 2. When you're playing Phoenix and Roots? Probably never. I'm pretty off Roots in the Wrath of the Skies world. Like, I'm building this deck because, like, we have a lot more game against Wrath of the Skies with Phoenix and Den of the Bugbear and a lot of burn. This is just not really a Roots world anymore. Maybe it never was. They put the Devourer back under there. They didn't have a 4-drop last turn, but of course they've seen a couple new cards. They do have a Dismember. I need to top deck a Charmaw. Okay, I got punished here for not just playing 1-drops into the Chalice earlier. Because now I can't bestow my Phoenix. So I guess we'll just, rectify our mistake here. I'm going to use my Surveil Land. Just fueling our Phoenix. That's all these are good for. Put it down to 10. Dead to a land for the Den of the Bugbear. And his Devourer 3 mystery cards. One of them, Urza's Tower. Or new one, Urza's Tower, maybe I should say. Alright, that's another 1-drop in the Chalice world, but can our Charmaw just go the distance here? Can't kill it with Dismember. Opponent gives us the GGs. 4-0. In my mind, I was thinking I would not mind an 0-2 drop so I could go eat lunch. I've been very hungry because I've been lifting weights almost every single day, but I don't mind a 4-0. I don't mind a 4-0 either on our first league with this deck. Let's try this on the draw. Puts on a mold of 6. Mold of 4. Against Tron again. Only fair to gift a sub when you lose. We should not implement that policy because then I'd be gifted a lot of subs. Alright, Tron again. 4-card Devourer hand. If we can steal game 1 and then come back with 4 Charmaws, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's take a look what they exiled. A Kozilek's... Oh, they exiled a Kozilek's command? They must have turn 2 ring. or they took another Kozilek's command. I just wanted to get into playing Moto. Asking as a paper player, I'd love to practice my Arrow decks more. It was the bad ending. So like the rental services like Card Hoarder and Mana Traders, I whenever people ask, I always say like Card Hoarder. It's only those two. Those are the rental services. Are a good way to borrow decks and a way for you to not have to spend money on them. Turn 2 ring on the Mold of 4 is pretty cool. Alright. So they are through the breach, I think, instead of Tron. In come the Charmaws. I think I just got to keep the burn in and try to pressure them before they through the breach me. So renting would be a good way to go about it. Don't have hundreds to spend cards as now. Yeah, that's what I do. I also like I would not be a modern streamer if it wasn't for the rental services because getting off the ground and playing a ton of different decks is just so difficult. So difficult without the rental service. And it's just good value too. It's like you don't have to you have to worry about like your cards spiking and crashing. You don't have to worry about maintaining value. You don't have to be worried about buying new stuff all the time. It's pretty good. No need for map, ring, lab, talisman. Lab isn't a good name, I think. Ring, map is kind of narrow. I agree that getting the ring is pretty good, but I'm kind of thinking I just want to play as much burn as possible. But yeah, maybe we should have the needle in. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand. That's great. I've liked the Daredevil so far. I think it's like a pretty good include. I want access to some copies in this build, but I don't want to be like all in on it. Am I currently considering any Besiege the Mirror Brews? Besiege is pretty bad in Modern, I think, and it's at least been my experience. Do you think buying fetches and shocks and using rental services is a good way? I mean, it could pan out that's like a good way for you to do it, but it's kind of hard to say exactly. Like a lot of people want me to be like the budget magic advisor, but I don't know. It's been a long time since I've gotten into stuff. It's hard for me to say, but you could look into it and just see like how much what can you get with the rental service tiers and how much do the fetches and how you could buy you can buy a lower tier and you can buy part of the deck. Yeah, that can be something to do. Okay, my opponent is 2-0 on playing the ring on turn on turn 2. I'm actually I think just going to Charmaw them and not use my Street Wraiths yet because I'm pretty locked in on just spending 3 mana to cast Charmaw, and so I don't want to Inti into a bunch of cards that I can't use. So another Charmaw will be very good, of course. Galvanic Blast I think is nice as well. This Detective's Phoenix has got some game. We do need another artifact. Oh. Sorry, I don't know why I floated this red mana. I guess it's not a big deal. There's a Ragavan. And there's an Asmo. So I think I'm just going to go Blast. Blast, Detective's Phoenix, Blast. Maybe I should have saved the Phoenix for later. I'm going to go ahead and put the Phoenix on the Charmaw again because it's not one that they can Kozilek's command. And if they dismember it, it's pretty painful. Oh my gosh, I didn't. Oh no, I didn't discard the food first. Sorry. Sorry, chatters. Alright, -1 damage, or -2 damage. Why not discard Phoenix? That was like the whole plan, and I just didn't. Also didn't play around Beseiju, which is kind of admittedly tough to play around. Sorry about all that. Think Ad Nauseam can ever make a return. I mean, sometimes people play Thassa's Oracle combo, but a lot of times they kind of omit the Ad Nauseam part. I want to crack the Bauble so I can discard whatever I draw to Inti. It's pretty likely to be bad, and I can get the Inti trigger. Okay, so a Lightning Bolt that I will be unable to use. Thinking about just casting it so I can just have a mana value in the yard for Detective's Phoenix. I think I'm going to not do that. Why do we exile 2 5-drops to Phoenix? Well, you have to collect evidence 6, and I had no other cards with mana value in my graveyard, so I had to. What I discard in response to Ring? Well, I'm just gonna loot away the Raucous Theater on my turn no matter what. It didn't seem like I should be waiting for anything, did it? I could potentially gain 3 life off the food token. And then not block with the Ragavan. I think blocking with the Ragavan's gonna be better most of the time. Remember those 2 points of damage I missed? Seems like we're getting there anyways. Alright, going to game 3. Just got too excited that one turn. Alright, let's bring in the Needle. One less blast on the draw. I think it makes sense to be a bit more aggressive on the play. Yeah, not that often that Ragavan saves you from Emrakul by blocking. Would be a pretty cool deck to trophy with. But I don't think I've trophied with Asmo. I mean, I definitely have a trophy. The only other Asmo deck I played was like the other lists like this that was playing Thrasher and playing Amtraptor. Is this? State of Design 2024. I might read that later. Can you play this deck with Saga? I would recommend no Sagas. Saga's pretty bad at the moment. You trophy with Asmonite Sweet Revenge decks? Yeah, I think a couple times. We played a lot of those lists. What can I see on top that would have me not play Ragavan turn 1? Basically nothing, so let's play Ragavan turn 1. Does my opponent have turn 2 ring 3 games in a row? They're playing the right deck if they do. We have the Needle this time. They have a Myco Spawn. Yeah, I do still love the Knight of Sweet's Revenge deck. That was an all-timer for sure. So what I was thinking about going Cookbook, discard, Needle, Bestow. Sniping that, No! Oh, no! I thought this was a Den of the Bugbear. I thought it was a Den of the Bugbear. Man, it's just falling off at the end here. I could cast the Owl's Dust right now. If they have nothing. Sorry, guys. Down to 15. Game's not over. Next turn we can Charmaw and Phoenix. I think I'm gonna Needle the One Ring right now. Not that the Charmaws are looking super good at the moment, but they can definitely just be kind of flooded here. Okay, so not Charmaw and Phoenix, I guess. Yeah, in paper you get a redo there. That is true. Even the land misplay bestow Ragavan attack. I couldn't bestow the Ragavan. I didn't have enough evidence to collect. If I had been able to float the mana, I could have, but I just didn't float the mana with the misclick. Okay, so looking for a land to top deck. Interesting they got Eldrazi Temple. They probably have an Ulamog in their hand. Not in racing mode here. Land off the top would have been pretty nice. Even like the Sokenzan to legend roll here. Playing extra Sokenzans because it's really good with Inti. We have a lot of legends in the deck. So they have like a Kozilek's command return. Two cards in their hand. Come on, land. Yeah, occasionally Asmo discard outlet. Still winnable if we draw land. The deck is laughing at me. Deck is laughing at us. Tough stuff. Misclicks happen. Wish it wasn't for the trophy. Is what it is. Sorry, believers. Good deck, though. I think, might play it again at some point. Kind of a tough deck to, like, grind with a lot. Yeah, I should have been more specific. Wishing for the land. I really thought that was a Den of the Bugbear, not a Sokenzan.